silence and truth. I hadn't been home in 3 years. 3 long years of silence, distance, and pretending I didn't care. But Christmas has a strange way of pulling you back, even to places that never truly felt like home. I drove for 6 hours. 6 hours through cold highways, fading daylight, and memories I wasn't ready to face. My hands tightened around the steering wheel as I turned into the familiar street. Nothing had changed. Same houses, same decorations, same feeling in my chest, like I didn't belong. When I parked outside, I just sat there for a moment, watching the warm lights glow through the windows, hearing faint laughter from inside. They looked like a happy family. From the outside, they always did. Pause. I picked up my bag, took a deep breath, and stepped out. The moment I walked in, everything went quiet. Not completely, but just enough for me to notice. My mom was the first to see me. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. "Oh, you made it." Not "we missed you." Not "I'm glad you're here." Just, "You made it." My dad barely looked up. "Dinner's almost ready." That was it. And my sister? She scanned me from head to toe, like she was judging everything I had become. "You're late." I forced a small smile. "Traffic." No one asked about my life. No one asked how I'd been. It was like I had never left. And nothing about me mattered. Then came the moment. The one that reminded me exactly why I stayed away. My mom clapped her hands lightly. "All right, everyone sit down." I followed them to the dining room. The table was beautifully set. Candles, plates, everything perfect. Except there wasn't a seat for me. I looked around, confused. Where should I sit? My mom didn't hesitate. She pointed toward the corner. The kids' table. Pause, slow music. I thought she was joking. "She's serious," my sister muttered under her breath. I turned slowly, and there it was. A small, cheap folding table, set up near the wall, with plastic plates and juice boxes. For a moment, I couldn't move. I was 26 years old, and they had seated me with the children. "Is this a joke?" I asked quietly. My mom leaned in close, her voice sharp and cold. "Your sister's boyfriend will be here in 15 minutes. She smiled, but it wasn't kind. "Don't embarrass us tonight." Something inside me broke, but I didn't argue. I didn't fight. I didn't defend myself. I just nodded and sat down. At the kids' table, the little cousins stared at me. One of them whispered, "Why are you sitting here?" I forced a smile. "Because I guess I still belong here." But inside, I was done. Because they didn't just want me quiet, they wanted me small, invisible, forgettable. And for years, I let them. Music shifts slightly, tension building. Then, the doorbell rang. My mom's face lit up instantly. "Oh, that must be him." Everyone suddenly became different. Livelier, happier, excited. My sister rushed to fix her hair. My dad stood up straight. My mom adjusted the table, like someone important was arriving. And maybe he was. The door opened. Footsteps. A deep voice. "Good evening." I didn't look up immediately. I didn't care. But then, something changed. Silence. Not the awkward kind. The heavy kind. The kind that makes your heart skip. I frowned slightly and looked up. And that's when I saw him. He was standing in the doorway, tall, well-dressed, confident. But his expression? Frozen. His hand was gripping the doorframe tightly, like he needed it to stay standing. His eyes were locked. On me. Not on my sister. Not on my parents. On me. And then he said something. That changed everything. "Wait!" His voice dropped. What are you doing here? Part 2. The past returns. Soft suspense music begins. The room went completely silent. Not the kind of silence you ignore. The kind that presses against your chest and makes everyone uncomfortable. My sister laughed nervously. Do you two know each other? But he didn't answer her. He didn't even look at her. His eyes were still locked on me. Sharp. Shocked. Almost guilty. I slowly stood up from the kids' table. My chair scraped loudly against the floor. No one stopped me. No one spoke. Yeah, I said quietly. We know each other. My mom frowned. What do you mean? I took a deep breath. Because this was the moment I never thought would come. His name is Daniel, right? My sister smiled proudly. Yes, Daniel is my ex. Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. My sister blinked. What? My dad finally looked up. Confused. Is this some kind of joke? But Daniel. He still hadn't moved. His voice came out low. It's not a joke. My sister stepped back slightly. Her smile disappeared. You dated her? I let out a small, bitter laugh. Not just dated. I looked straight at him. We were together for 3 years. Music builds slowly. Flashbacks flooded my mind. Late-night calls. Shared dreams. Promises that felt unbreakable. And the way it all ended. I swallowed hard. He didn't just know me, I continued. He was the only person who ever made me feel like I mattered. My mom shifted uncomfortably. All right, that's enough. No, Daniel said suddenly. Everyone turned toward him. His voice was firm now. Stronger. No, it's not enough. He finally stepped inside, closing the door behind him slowly. I've been looking for you. My heart skipped. What? He nodded. For 2 years. My sister's voice cracked. Daniel, what is going on? But again, he ignored her. I tried calling you, he said to me. Texting. Emails. Even went to your old apartment. I shook my head. You don't get to do this. My voice trembled now, not weak, but emotional. You disappeared, Daniel. He took a step closer. No. You did. Pause. Tension. The room felt smaller. Hotter. Harder to breathe in. My dad finally snapped. Can someone explain what the hell is happening? I looked at him. Really looked at him. And for the first time, I didn't feel small. You want to know what's happening? I said calmly. This is the part where the truth finally shows up. Music shifts, deeper, emotional. I turned back to Daniel. You left, I said. 3 years together, and one day, you just vanished. His jaw tightened. That's not what happened. I laughed bitterly. Oh, really? Because from where I stood, you stopped answering. You stopped showing up. And then I found out you were engaged. My sister gasped. Engaged? Daniel shook his head quickly. That wasn't real? Of course it was, I snapped. I saw the pictures. He stepped closer again, his voice softer now. They were fake. Silence again. What? I whispered. My family forced it, he said. They wanted me to marry into a business deal. I froze. And when I refused, he continued, they threatened to ruin you. My breath caught. They said if I didn't leave you, they would destroy your career, your life, everything. My hands started shaking. So you just left? I whispered. His eyes filled with regret. I thought I was protecting you. Long pause. I looked away. Because part of me wanted to believe him. But the pain? It was still there. You didn't protect me, I said quietly. You broke me. Music slows, emotional. Behind us, my sister let out a small laugh. But it wasn't happy. It was bitter. So let me get this straight, she said slowly. You two had some dramatic love story. And now you're standing here like I don't exist? Daniel finally turned to her. And for the first time, his expression changed. It wasn't love. It wasn't warmth. It was realization. This isn't right, he said quietly. My sister's face hardened. What does that mean? He took a step back, away from her. I didn't know she was your sister. Boom, tension spike. The room exploded. What do you mean you didn't know? My mom shouted. You've been dating my daughter for months. Daniel ran a hand through his hair. I never met the whole family. She always avoided it. Everyone turned to my sister. She looked trapped. I didn't think it mattered, she said defensively. But I knew the truth. She knew. Deep down, she knew exactly who he was. And she still brought him here. Slow, intense music. I looked at her. Did you know? I asked quietly. She didn't answer. And that was the answer. The silence after my question felt louder than anything that had happened tonight. Did you know? My sister finally looked up. Her eyes met mine. And for a second, I saw it. Guilt, but it disappeared just as quickly. No, she said coldly. I didn't. I let out a slow breath, then nodded. Okay, that one word shocked everyone. Because I didn't argue. I didn't shout. I just accepted it. But inside, I knew the truth. And so did she. My mom stepped in quickly. Enough of this drama. She forced a laugh. It's Christmas Eve. Let's not ruin it over old relationships. Old. Like what I felt didn't matter. Like what happened to me was nothing. I smiled faintly. You're right. Everyone relaxed a little. But then I added, let's not ruin it. Pause. Tone shifts. I walked slowly away from the kids' table. This time, no one stopped me. I pulled out a chair at the main table and sat down. My mom's face changed instantly. What are you doing? I looked at her calmly. I'm sitting where I belong. My dad slammed his hand on the table. Don't start this again. I'm not starting anything, I said. I'm just done being treated like I don't exist. Music builds. For years, I stayed quiet, accepted everything. But not tonight. Not anymore. My sister scoffed. Oh, please, don't act like the victim. I turned to her slowly. The victim? I repeated. Yes, she snapped. You left. You disappeared. You think you're better than us. I almost laughed. I didn't leave, I said softly. I escaped. Silence. That hit harder than anything else. My mom's voice shook slightly. What is that supposed to mean? I looked around the room at the people who were supposed to be my family. You never wanted me here. No one spoke. You compared me, ignored me, pushed me aside. My voice cracked. And then blamed me for it. Emotional music swells. I spent years trying to be enough for you. I looked at my mom, but I never was. She looked away. That hurt more than words. Behind me, Daniel spoke quietly. She deserved better. My dad glared at him. This is a family matter. Stay out of it. Daniel didn't back down. No, he said. It stopped being just your family matter when you broke her. Boom, tension. My sister stood up suddenly. Oh, so now you're her hero? Daniel looked at her and said something that changed everything. I was supposed to be. The room felt different now, like the truth had finally cracked through. Years of silence. I stood up slowly. I didn't come here to fight, I said. I came here hoping maybe something had changed. I looked at my mom, then my dad. But it hasn't. Pause. So I will. I picked up my bag. My sister laughed again. Yeah, run away like you always do. I stopped. Turned back. No, I said calmly. I'm walking away. There's a difference. Music rises. I built a life without you, I continued. A good one. They all looked surprised. You never asked, I said. But I'm doing better than I ever did here. My dad frowned. What are you talking about? I looked him straight in the eyes. I own my own company now. Silence. Shock. I worked for it. Alone. My mom blinked rapidly. You, what? Daniel smiled slightly. I told you, he said softly. She was always stronger than all of you combined. My sister's expression darkened. Then why are you even here? She snapped. I paused, then answered honestly, because a part of me still hoped I had a family. Emotional pause. But I was wrong. I walked toward the door. Each step felt lighter, free, but just as I reached for the handle. Wait. It was my mom, her voice, softer than I'd ever heard it. Don't go. I froze. For a moment. I was that same girl again, waiting for her to care. To choose me. I turned slowly. What for? I asked. She didn't have an answer. And that told me everything. I looked at all of them one last time, not with anger, not with pain, but with clarity. I don't hate you, I said quietly. That surprised them. I just don't need you anymore. Pause. And that was worse, because hate means something is still there. But this was nothing. I opened the door. Cold air rushed in. And for the first time, it didn't feel lonely. It felt peaceful. Behind me, footsteps. Wait, Daniel said. I turned slightly. He stood there. Not too close, not too far. Can we talk? He asked. I studied his